Record. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining myself, Alex, and Emma this evening. So, this evening's training session is all about selling the opportunity, and I'm delighted that Alex and Emma agreed to talk tonight. So, Alex is our #1 recruiter for this year and is based in Romania, and Emma is one of our top UK-based recruiters. So you'll hear two different perspectives of recruiting in Romania and recruiting in the UK, and why Alex and Emma love it, and their tips for how they've been growing and building their teams so successfully. There we go. So Alex and Emma, you should now be co-hosts. So if you wouldn't mind letting people in as I talk briefly to start with. So I'm just going to do a very brief overview of recruiting, and then Alex and Emma are going to share their personal experiences with you. So without further ado, so the real basic information. So if you are new to recruiting or you're new to Usborne, brilliant that you've decided to use your evening to look at this part of the business. So your real key information, you can team build straight away. So if you have literally just started your Usborne business, no problem whatsoever. If you want to team build and support others to do what you're doing, you can do this straight away. And just a reminder that if you recruit 2 people in your first 9 weeks as an independent Usborne partner, you would earn your business boost. And I know Quick Start is something that Alex loves to use with her team, and I'm sure we'll talk about briefly later. So just a reminder, if you are new, amazing, you've got this brilliant incentive available to you. You become a mentor from the very first person you recruit. So you would earn a 6% mentor bonus that Usborne pays you on the sales of your recruits. You don't need to be a team leader to earn this bonus. Every person that you are the mentor for, you would be paid by Usborne to support that person to sell. And I think this is a really key fact. It is Usborne that gives you that money. It's not the person that's in your team. They're not giving you that money. Usborne is giving you that money, like someone would pay a manager to manage a team. Usborne is giving you that money to support that new recruit. And I think this is something that can be a sticking point for people about recruiting, and it really shouldn't be, because that recruit is not giving you their money. You are being paid by Usborne because we think it is really important for people to have a dedicated mentor to support them. Usborne can't possibly support the thousands of people running their independent businesses. And this is why mentors are so important and so key. And you do deserve that money. So please never think that you don't, because you do deserve that mentor bonus for supporting those people. If you get 4 active recruits, so that is people that have sold more than £120 worth of books in a calendar month, you place an order worth over £120 within a calendar month, and you have £1,800 in team sales. This gets you promoted to team leader. You get a £120 bonus for promoting to team leader, or if you do it within your first 12 weeks, that bonus is doubled to £240. So exciting that you're growing your business, but there is also a financial reward for you as well, which again, you absolutely deserve for building and growing your business. There is loads of support available to you. I think this is often something that people worry about, that they worry that they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're newer and they don't feel like they know enough about the business. You absolutely don't need to know everything. You have your own mentor, so whoever recruited you is there to support you, and their job is to support you the whole way through your Usborne journey, not just when you first start, but however you want your Usborne business to take you. There are 2 different training sessions that run each month from the amazing Suzanne Pittman, the Team Leader to Be training session and the new Team Leader training session. So there are training sessions for people that want to be a team leader to support them in doing that. And once you have promoted as a team leader for the first time, it's great to go along to those sessions for additional support as well, because it is it is something that you're going to have to work on in your business. to maintain that leadership status. So there are free training sessions available to you with the amazing Suzanne Pittman. So you are not on your own when you promote or when you start building your team. There is a recruiting foundations course. So if you've never recruited anyone and you're not sure where to start, on tools and downloads, there is a recruiting foundations course, again, done by the amazing Suzanne Pittman, that will talk you through step-by-step growing and building your team. And also, there are so many head office training sessions. You're at one right now. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to run all the training sessions yourself. Familiarise yourselves with the different training sessions that are already available on tools and downloads, and signpost your new team members to them. So if you're newer, or you feel like you're not an expert in selling to schools, or you're not an expert at team building, or you're not an expert at mentoring or working with nurseries, you don't need to be. There's training sessions that already exist for those things, and your role as a mentor is to signpost people to those sessions. There is so much that's already available for you to support your new team members with. So please don't ever feel like you don't know enough to be a team leader, you don't know enough to grow your team. You absolutely do. And if you don't, the resources are there for you to signpost people to anyway. Why should you be a team leader? So what is it about you in particular that gives you the skills to do this? So I think there are a few skills that if you look at the following statements and you think, yeah, that's me, you should be a team leader and you should grow your team. So if you are someone that likes seeing other people do well and succeed, you should absolutely be a team leader. If you like helping other people solve their problems, great quality if you're a team leader. If you think it's a great opportunity and you want to give someone else the opportunity that you were given, that's what you need to be a team leader. If you want to make a difference, so we know times are challenging, you could help someone by helping them start their own business. If you are good at listening to what people are saying to you, you would be a great team leader. And if you are good at helping people to see maybe they don't see about themselves, if you're good at looking at people and thinking, do you know what, you'd be brilliant at selling books, or you would be amazing at working with schools, or you would be a brilliant team leader, you are helping people to see the things about themselves that maybe they don't see, but you can see that they could be brilliant. And finally, before I hand over to Alex and Emma, why now? We are still, depressingly, in a cost of living crisis. So people need more money than they currently have. This is something that would give them that extra income. So there is a real need to earn more money. This is something that people could do to earn that extra money. Christmas isn't that far away. My children are happily already building their Christmas lists, especially my daughter. And this is a way that you can earn that extra money to buy the things that you want to for Christmas, to enjoy the treats, to worry less, to pay for the petrol or the flights to see different family members. Childcare, we know, is extortionate in a lot of countries. And for a lot of people, they simply can't afford to work because how much money they would earn is less than how much it would cost them to put their children in childcare in order to work. Or perhaps the cost of getting to work is more than they would earn with the cost of having a car or train fares, etc. So for a lot of people, it's not that they don't want to work, it's that the cost before they've even got to work is more than they would earn. Public sector workers, very dissatisfied. So your teachers, if you're in the UK, people that work for the NHS, there are a lot of people that aren't happy with the way things currently are. You could give them an option to do something different to make a change. You will hear from Emma later, who is from a teaching background. Flexible working during COVID, most people worked from home, and there is a real push to push people back to offices. People have got used to working from home. With going to an office, you've got to factor in a commute, you've got to factor in the costs to get to work. You've got to factor in all the chores that you could do in your lunch break and you now can't do because you're in an office. So people have got used to living more flexibly, working more flexibly, and that is becoming less common than it was. A lot of people can't work 9 to 5. It doesn't work for them for whatever reason. Maybe they have a health condition where some days they're absolutely fine, other days they're not. If you work 9 to 5 every day, that doesn't account for you having days where you feel more tired, or you having days where you struggle more, or perhaps you just need that flexibility to work different hours. And most importantly, the bumper kit is currently going on. So there is the perfect time for people to join, because if they join this month, they're getting 5 books that next month they won't be getting. So they're getting more books that they can sell and start seeing a profit much more quickly in their business. So that's just a really brief scratching of the surface. You would be able to think of so many reasons why it would be great for someone to join Usborne and start their own business. You just have to look at the news, and it will give you so many reasons why this opportunity could be a better opportunity for someone than the opportunity that they're currently living in. So I'm now going to hand over to Alex first and then Emma, and I'm going to keep a note of any questions. When you're listening to Alex and Emma, if you think of anything that you would like to ask while they're talking, I'm going to store up those questions to the end and then ask them all at the end. But if you think you're going to forget your question, please just pop it in the chat as we're going along. And then I'll ask Alex and Emma all your questions at the end. There is no such thing as a stupid question. If you are thinking it, 100% someone else is thinking it, and they'll be grateful that you've asked that question. So do just ask absolutely any question. And I'm sure Alex and Emma will be very happy to answer them at the end. So without further ado, I'm now going to hand over to Alex.
Hi, everyone. I'm a little nervous because there are a lot of you here, and this is the first time I've held a Zoom like this. So I'm Alexandra. I've joined last year in March or something like that. I promoted to team leader, earning the double promotion bonus. And at the start of this year, I promoted to group leader. And since then till now, I never stopped recruiting. I have recruited 33 people in 31 days in January, thanks to the bumper kit. And I'm here to talk about this, about why I recruit and why I love recruiting. So mainly what Lucy said is really on point. And I think a lot of us that are recruiting are thinking the same thing. But for me, it was a 3-part thing. The first part is in Romania, we have a really bad literacy. So children in schools are like non-literate, if that's a word. Sorry, English is not my main language. So the percentage of non-literate children in school is like 89%, which is very huge. So this is the part where I think that if I recruit more people, so these books can be in more houses, so children can learn more, and we can like bring that percentage down. This is one of the parts. The other part is because I really like helping people, like Lucy said in the first part, because I have in my team a lot of people that are like single parents that have 2 kids that don't want to return to their job, that want to just make an extra income, just live on their own or something like that. And I know that I have the opportunity to help them get where they want. And the third part is, I forgot what was the third part, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to come back to that later. So that's mainly why I love recruiting. Oh yeah, the third part is like the most important for some of us. And I'm not, it's about the money, right? Because we are earning a steady income because we are recruiting, and Usborne are paying us for that, for our job as mentors, and as leaders. So yeah, we cannot, we have to account the money in, because we all need money to live. So who's saying they don't need money? Everyone needs money. So yeah, those are the 3 main things. I started recruiting almost right away after I joined. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that I had a mentor. So I had Laura. Every time I had a question, I had the resources, I had the whole team backing me up. So I just started recruiting. One of my first recruits was Juliana, which is here. And I'm very glad that all my team leaders are here to watch me make fun of myself later on. And because she's a team leader now, and she had this whole really good journey in Usborne, I think I did a good job. And even though I did not know much at the time, I learned and I learned. And I was able to raise a lot of good people in Usborne. So after I started recruiting, I said I didn't stop. So this is the key when you want to, I mean, from 100 people, I had 140 people, 50 people in my downline. And the key is like to not stop, because some of them will fall off the system. Some of them will say, oh, this is too hard. And that doesn't say something about me, because I know I'm a good team leader and I want to learn and help them. That it's just people have their own lives and it happens. How am I recruiting? Before starting this whole Usborne thing, I am very into child safety. So I have made a group on Facebook on which I was talking to other parents, other families about child safety. And because in Romania, it's not a very big subject. So I basically found a niche where I help parents with my knowledge about this. So because I had a really big following there, I had like 40,000 people in that group. It was easier for me to find people that would want to join my team, because I had built in time credibility and a report. So we had that. So basically, every time I go through something as a person, I talk about it online, in that group. I don't talk about it much on my Facebook page, because I really don't like everyone to know about my personal life. So that's fine too. But I relate, so people are relating to me. I'm talking about how I did not go back to work. I worked in cinematography. I was a costume designer. So that was like 12, 14 hours a day, every day, 6 days a week. And I did not, it was amazing. It paid well, but I did not want to be away from my kid so much. So I choose Usborne. And talking about my life, talking about raising my child, talking about being there for her, and all the stuff we have gone through the last year and a half have really helped me bring people into my team, because the more real you are as a person, the more sincere you are with the people that are that you want to recruit or be your clients, the more they're gonna report to you different, because you're a real person. So that's what they want to hear. I mean, they don't want to be big company, a big, I don't know, big nice picture. They just want someone real that they can relate to. So basically that was my main I have recruited offline too. I used to recruit. I recruited someone at a fair. They came over. They asked me about it, but mainly online. So I mainly recruit online. And I don't know what to say now. Lucy, can you help a little, please?
What kind of people do you find you tend to recruit? So what problems are you fixing for them?
So I have 50-50. So 50% of my team are the people that want the books for themselves and their family, and they want to have access to more quality books at better prices. And the other 50% are the people that want to make a business because they don't want to go back to work. They need an extra income. They want to do something other than being a mother, and they need something to invest their time and have something for themselves.
And you also do really well with Quick Start and your people. How do you get them doing Quick Start? Because your figures are really great for that.
It's not something I really do. So whenever I recruit someone, we have groups, support groups. So I have my teams group, and we have a bigger group for the whole team. And I put them in groups, and I give them like the 10-minute tasks. I'm using a lot of resources on that we have, and I've translated them to Romania so they can be easily so they can be more easily read. And I'm putting them there, I'm giving them the resources, and then I'm giving them the heads up about the quick starts. And they're coming to me, and I want to put an order in, and they're like 10 pounds shy of a kit boost. or I don't know, 20 pounds shy out of a gift refund or something like that. And I'm telling them, hey, I'm always talking to them before they place their first or second order, and I'm always seeing if how much they are missing. So if it's like 10 or 20 pounds, it's like 99% they're gonna put 10 or 20 pounds extra just to hit the milestones. So I'm not doing anything special. I'm just really looking in the downline and on my dashboard, and I'm like super careful. I'm reminding them, hey, I just did that this morning. So I went to all my new recruits from the past 60 days, and I told them, hey, you have a deadline here, you have a deadline here, you need this much more until kid refund and everything like that. So I'm just keeping track of everyone, and that helps because they are all moms, so you know how hectic can life can be. And being a team leader and a group leader, it's kind of my job to be sure that everyone has the information, because it can, like, you know, I always miss our calls, and with Sue too. So someone has to do this for them if in case they missed it.
And you said that, so I know you don't pay for adverts, do you, online?
No.
So you recruit online, but you don't pay to do that.
Yeah.
And I know obviously you had your group before you started.
Yeah.
Lots of people do look for books, particularly in the UK, and they can use that to then get quite a large group online. But a lot of people feel like they don't want to talk to people about the opportunity. How do you frame that differently in your mind? Like, why do you think it's important to talk to this group about this opportunity?
I have had different approaches based on my personal experiences. So one of them that was really successful was after I saw one of your monthly joining messages, and you talked about minimum wage. So I did the math for Romania, and I presented the facts. So it was like, after going to work, paying childcare and everything in the house, the amount of money that was left, it was so small that you couldn't even afford, I don't know, a trip to the nearest town. So I used that. So I'm basically just using the truth. That's true, that those are facts. The math is simple. You just like have to do 5 minutes of calculus to find that out. That was one of the things. Every time, so in January I presented the extra books, because I have a really large database of clients, like 400 or 500 people. I'm constantly going to them once a month. So I'm doing follow-ups for, hey, I'm putting an order in if you want something, and if it's a recurrent buyer, so it's a recurrent customer, I'm telling them, hey, but have you thought about joining? So because it's much better for you, and you're a frequent customer, and you could like earn money for yourself, and you can do this. You're just buying books from me, but it's more profitable for you if you join my team. And at this moment today, I think I recruited 3 of my customers, that frequent customers. And I think it's a really important thing, because I'm not feeling like I'm losing customers, and I won't have sales, because I will always have sales. I have fairs and everything, but like having team members that are valuable to my team is more important, and helping them grow. So I think a lot of people are neglecting that fact, and I think it's a really important thing to look into the customers that we have, and go to them and ask them, hey, do you want to join? Because here's a kit boost, a bumper kit this month. And I think it's a great opportunity for you.
So do you worry about, I think a lot of people worry that people will stop following them, or they won't be their customers anymore. I think people worry so much about how other people will react to them sharing the opportunity. Have you found that, or have you found if people aren't interested, they're just not interested, but it doesn't affect your relationship?
I really don't put a lot of thought into that, because I'm just doing my job, and the way that they react, it's their problem. So I've had people joining, they didn't want to do a business, they fell off the system, and then they became my customers. And I mean, they won because they got the kit, and they had great books. They told me these are amazing. I gave them to my friends because birthdays and la 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 la. And then they rejoined my team after they fell off the system. They said, nah, I don't want to do this. This is not for me. And that's fine. But they came back. So it's never a loss. I mean, it's never a loss. You gain something every time. You gain experience with people. And I think experience is very important because there are a lot of kinds of people out there. So you have to know how to help them. So if someone tells me, so I just want to put orders in for myself and my friends, I'm like, okay, let's see when to put those orders and how you can, I mean, think about, as you said, Christmas is coming, when to put the order so you make sure it's going to come in time, because it takes like 2 to 3 weeks in Romania to come, for doors to come. So I'm helping them in that way. And that also gives me experience. I don't think it's a waste of time either way.
And like you were saying, they've not lost anything, have they? I think people often think about that. But actually, if the worst that happens to them is they get the kit and they never sell any books, they've not started like a food business where the food's going to go off and they've lost money. They've got the physical books that don't date, they don't go out of date, they're not perishable. So actually, no matter what they achieve with their business, they've got something good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to ask Emma to talk now, Alex, and then we will go for questions at the end. But I could see a lot of nodding kind of points that you made really resonate. And I think everything Alex was saying about who she's talking to, all you are doing is sharing something that is a good opportunity. You know it's a good opportunity. You know it is a low cost for someone to invest in it in the first place. It is a low risk investment for them. And yeah, if they don't, like Alex has had people join her team, it hasn't worked out, and then they've returned as a customer. So their experience has clearly still been positive, regardless of the outcome for them. Thank you, Alex. Emma, over to you now, please.
Hello, hopefully you can hear me after my technical issues earlier. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and we can see you, Emma, so.
Hey. Awesome. So Lucy's asked me to come on and just chat to everybody about why I'm passionate about team building and a few top tips that I've picked up that I've found out myself or I've taken on board from other people as well. But I'll introduce myself first. So if you don't know me, my name's Emma. I started with Usborne in April, I think I'd remember that, April 23. And I feel like me and Alexandra had a very different start to Usborne. So I was quite reluctant. I started just wanting to sell a few books to my friends and my family. I think the words I used was, don't get me team building, that's icky. I just did not want anything to do with that. But I did start eventually, I think, just watching other people and what they were doing. I started to see actually how it could be really beneficial to me. So I'm a teacher, and I was working part-time at the time, and working in a school that was really, really high stress, a lot of work, even part-time. I wasn't seeing Effie. I was missing her bedtime all the time. I was working at weekends. I just wanted to get out. So I left that school, took up Usborne to supplement being a teaching assistant, which is very, very poor pay. I was part-time teaching assistant as well. So we were struggling to make ends meet, basically. And it got to, I think it was like October, November time last year, where I just went, we can't be getting to the end of the month and having absolutely no money, well, less than no money. We were having to borrow money and things. So I asked my mentor about starting to team build. I had kind of accidentally recruited a couple of people from, like, I'd put the feelers out there, I'd put a couple of posts up, I hadn't really committed to it. I had a couple of recruits who did nothing. So I thought, right, I'm gonna just go for it, and I've never looked back. I went to start team building for the financial side of things, as I've said. I actually find it saves time. I spend a lot less time working as such because I'm more focused on the mentoring side and the recruitment side, and that takes up less time than, you know, emailing 100 schools trying to get in with them, which I still do work with schools and I still do sell books, but it's not as heavy as it was before, because I do just focus on my recruiting and team building. My plan is to eventually get out of teaching completely, so I'm 2 days a week from September, and I can do that because of the income that building a team has given me, and I'm doing it for the flexibility. So my little girl's turns 4 on Monday, and I want to be able to be there for her, pick her up from school if she's poorly. I don't want to have to say, well, I can't go and get her because I'm teaching a class of children. So I'm doing it for the flexibility there. I do a lot of recruitment in different different areas. I recruit from everywhere basically. I've got an ad running that I spend pennies on, like literally it's not a very expensive ad at all. I post in a lot of groups. I've recruited at stalls, and I have got people in my team who were friends, family, and people off my Facebook. So I've got a variety of areas that I dip into there. So why am I passionate about team building? Now, this is something that I never, ever, ever thought I'd hear myself say. I never thought I'd say I absolutely love it, because like I said, when I started, I was like, ew, I don't want to do that. It's icky. People will unfollow me. People won't want to be my friend. People will avoid me. And that was my mindset with it. But actually, I've found it couldn't be further from what I actually thought it was. I really love helping others. And I think, you know, being a teacher, that comes naturally to me anyway. Helping adults, I don't know why, because I'm a primary teacher, that scared me, but I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm loving seeing the growth in people. I'm loving seeing people's confidence flourish. They go from, like I was saying, I might sell 2 books, I don't know, to, you know, I'm organising this, I'm working with a school, I'm phoning schools, I'm talking to people about joining themselves. So that part of it I find amazing, and especially I love empowering other moms and other women to have a bit more financial flexibility, because I was talking to a lady yesterday who's thinking of joining, who's cutting down from full-time to part-time teaching, and it is an absolutely massive hit on your salary. I mean, for anybody, but from a teacher, full-time teaching salary to 2 days a week, it's just insane. And it cuts down people's options. So they, you know, you might be off work part-time, but you can't go out and have those nice days out with your children because you haven't got the money to spend on it. So I love giving that kind of flexibility and that freedom back to other moms and other women who are in a similar situation. So I find it's making a difference to people's lives. So it's that part of it is a massive passion of mine now. Like, I love seeing, I get messages from some of my team saying they're on maternity leave, they've got no money, but they've been able to buy their baby some shoes this month, which they'd usually have had to have gone to their husband and said, please, you know, you need some new shoes, or I just want some new shoes because they're really cute. So they've been able to do that themselves, and they've obviously built on that since and placed really big orders and been able to treat themselves to days away or holidays and things. So that's lovely to see. There is the aspect of getting more books into children's hands as well. Again, I keep saying it because, in case you didn't know, I'm a teacher. I used to be a reading leader at a school as well, so I know how children can struggle with their reading, how important it is that children are able to read, and that not every child actually gets given books at home, and children can't afford it, or their parents don't put value on the children having books at home. So for me, that's something as a partner was really important, and I started to realise that if I built a team, I could work with schools myself, but I could also have a team of 5, 6, 10, 20 people also working with schools. I'm only one person. I can't work with 20 schools in 1 week. It's impossible. Whereas with a team, that that is achievable. So I'm getting more books into schools and running more school events and helping people to achieve that. You know, I could run 10 look for a books at the same time at different points in the country, not me personally, but it's happening because people in my team are doing what I've done, and starting to run things like look for a books. So I can kind of almost be everywhere and getting books out across, like books are going out in Scotland because of the work that I've put in, and helped a teammate to run a look for a book, which I find really cool. So I've, like, you know, I'd say improve the amount of books getting out there to children tenfold by building a team. The friendships that I have developed, so some of my team that started coming up a year ago now, I've actually made really good friendships. I've recruited people at stalls and things, so they're quite local, so we've been able to meet up, and while we have a lot of time obviously speaking about business and their business and what they can do to improve their lives and financial things, we also have developed a friendship where we've got things in common, and so that's really nice as well, and something I find really exciting to have happen. I love the self-improvement side of things as well. If you'd have met me 18 months ago, I would not have done this. If Lucy had emailed me a year ago and said, hey, fancy jumping on Zoom and doing an all partner training session, I'd have gone, nope, no thank you. Why? I would not have done it. I wouldn't have gone on Zoom, I wouldn't have done a live, I wouldn't have spoken to people at stalls. But over this last year, I've seen such a transformation in myself as well as other people in the team, because I'm doing things, I'm putting myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm doing things that I would never have dreamt of doing when I started Usborne, which I find amazing. My confidence has just increased so much from taking on board things that my mentor has told me, and seeing my team grow. And it's kind of like my second child now. It's like I love seeing it like develop and grow and flourish, and it really gives me a big confidence boost, which I really needed after having a baby. I kind of lost myself a little bit. And once I'd started getting a couple of people come in into my team, I realised that it was actually a really good way to build that business that was going to get me out of teaching, and it was going to give me the lifestyle that I wanted, and I wanted for me and I wanted for my child. So it was a good way to build that kind of sustainable income, so that I wasn't having to like chase every school and organise 10 events a month, because I've got people who I'm working with and developing their skills for them to do it, and I'm getting paid on that aspect of my of imparting my knowledge and what I've learned onto other people, and it just means that it's a little bit more stable. There's a monthly pay coming in, and that I liked that aspect of it when it started to happen, and it started to snowball as time went on. So I'm going to give some top tips that I've found. My first thing would be don't hide. And I think I tended to do this when I first started. I didn't post about the fact that I was recruiting. I think you'll hear like Vicky, I've heard Vicky say it, and I've heard Lucy say it, and I've heard Suzanne Pittman say it, don't be a secret agent. Like get yourself out there and tell people what you're doing, because if people don't know that you have a team, or that you want to build a team, or you're looking to build a team, then people won't join you. So talk to literally everyone I talk to, I mention what I do, and a lot of people ask me now because I do post about it. So definitely just get it out there, whether that's on social media, whether that's talking about it in person with people, just get it out there what you're doing, and the fact that you are looking to recruit and you are looking to build a team, and why as well. I find that a really effective tool, is just talking about why I started doing it. My next two kind of go hand in hand. So consistency and resilience. You have to have consistency and resilience by the bucket load, because people will ghost you, and people will say, yeah, I'm gonna sign up, and then they don't, or they sign up and then they don't do anything. And I find that it could be really easy to let that drag you down and go, well, I'm not going to recruit somebody else because this person didn't do anything, when actually the next person you do take on into your team could be, you know, the person who is working with 3 schools a month and putting in really big orders. So having that consistency and resilience, I think, is so important, and is the kind of foundations of building a team. The consistency comes up with the, you know, if you're going to be posting in job groups or mom groups or working from home groups on Facebook to recruit, you do it every single day. I have a little alarm on my phone that I set now, and I message 10, put an ad in 10 groups a day, and I make sure without fail I do that. I hadn't been doing it the last couple of months due to working full-time teaching, and it had all gone a bit there, but I've been doing it consistently for the last few weeks, and it's just, everything's kicked off again, and it's so busy. So the consistency there, again, with follow-ups as well. So if somebody has got in touch with you and they've ghosted you, don't let that put you off. Message them again, send them you know, obviously we've got the bumper pack this month, send them the picture of that, and as a hook to kind of re-engage them, or send them a video you've made about how Usborne's helped you, but keep following up with people again and again and again. I've had people join in my team who had ghosted me for about 10 messages, and I got to the point where I went, oh, this is getting awkward now, but I'm going to message them again. And they do that. Sometimes people reply, they'll either not reply or they reply and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I've been really busy. So that resilience there is really important, and the consistency of keeping going with things as well. I think to get people on board, my biggest tip would be to ask lots of questions. I think it's quite easy to fall into having a script and following a certain script and having copy and paste messages. I've come away from that a little bit now, and it might take a slightly little bit more time, and there's still bits I do copy and paste and add in, but I spend a lot of time asking questions about them, about their family, about their home life. When I talk to them about what they can do with Usborne, I will ask them what's exciting them the most about what they can do, what we can offer, and find out what makes them tick, and then I can kind of use that to help them, basically. I think it's easy to kind of ask a question and not listen as well, so I make sure I do listen to what they're saying and find those pain points. So if it's financial, like I was, struggling to pay the bills, not able to afford food for the week, they want to treat their family to a holiday, or is it that they are passionate about reading and they want to help schools and they want to help children who are in deprived area that they live in get more books? I know, like Alexandra was saying about children in Romania struggling with like reading and writing. Is that something that makes them tick more so than the financial aspect? So it, rather than kind of saying like you can earn lots of money, actually to someone who's not, you know, that, well, I've got a full-time salary, I don't need the money as such, you know, that's a bonus, but what I want to do is get the validation from, you know, helping schools or getting these books out to children for free and doing community book pledges and things. So definitely listen, ask questions and listen to people would be a big top tip. I've got many top tips here. I should have just done 3. I've got 3 more. Be yourself and stand out. And tell your story, I find is really important. There's lots of us, there's lots of Usborne partners. There should be loads more, but you want to make yourself stand out as a team leader. And why would someone want to join your team? What about you makes you stand out from someone who's just posted an advert that said, we've got a bumper pack this month, and then someone else has posted, we've got a bumper pack this month, we've got a bumper pack this month. So I've kind of shied away from using that as my ad this month in groups, and I've just talked about myself, and I've just stuck to what I normally do, and then the bumper pack is a bonus if there's, you know, obviously if they're interested. Spend time finding out who your ideal team is as well, so that you can post in those groups. So what's going to make those people tick. My ideal person is like a mom with children a similar age to me or a little bit older, teachers and things, so that that will help as well. And then obviously having processes in place to help retain them once they have started is really important. So what do you do next with them once they have joined, so that they do succeed? So I've got processes in place where they have WhatsApp messages each week. There's a video I send out to people via an email that gives them some top tips on building their first orders and hopefully achieving their quick starts as well. So I think that is, I consider that part of the recruitment process, because there's no point recruiting somebody if they literally just get the kit and then ghost you and disappear, or they don't have the success that they wanted, so they just go, I'm giving up. So I see that kind of the first few weeks after recruiting as part of the recruitment process as well, because you want to keep hold of them and keep them close and keep them motivated and excited about what they're doing, because it is amazing what we all do. So yeah, I feel like I've talked really, really fast there, and I've probably not talked, I don't know how long I've talked for now. That was all my notes.
That was brilliant, thank you. Similar question to what I asked Alex, and then I'll move on to other questions for both of you from the chat, which is, how did you, again, you said you've recruited friends that you know, and a lot of people, again, shy away from that or posting anything on like personal socials. Why did you do it, and actually how was it a positive for you?
So I think, and I've had people say this to me who I'm actually actively recruiting at the moment, I was very worried about the whole, because I've done stuff like this before. I was told to download a list of people off your Facebook and go through every single person and send them a bit of a spammy message, and that scared me. So the approach, I wasn't told that to do that with Usborne at all. The approach that I've taken with that was to kind of speak to people who either I'd seen put posts up about money, or you know, I've been having conversations with friends about, again, it's usually financial, so I'll talk to them about the business. So I think it came from a place of wanting to help my friends and family, and going, I do this and it's given me X amount a month and that's paid for this, or you know, I've been able to help with the rent this month, or I'm taking all three of us to Disneyland over the weekend using my Usborne money. So I think the kind of frog side of things came from a place of, I wanted to share what I'd got with my friends and family. So I just kind of went, I love this, why would no one else want to do this? I'm getting money, I've got an amazing community, I'm helping children with their reading. So I found it, when I thought about it like that, I found it easier to kind of post about it on my Facebook. I put stuff in my stories, and actually I think because I started being really positive about it and being like, I love this is amazing, I found frogs actually came to me. I recruited 2 people who were frogs who messaged me directly and were like, you look like you're having an amazing time, tell me more. So I think because I came at it from a kind of, I just went full, woohoo, this is amazing, like really positive, and also tried to help, find people's pain points and help them in that sense, rather than just like, you know, I've got this opportunity, do you want some money? And people kind of responded to that a lot better than I thought, I suppose.
And I think, yeah, that's quite similar to what Alex was saying as well, that the whole point of it is helping people and giving, like, it is a positive thing. You are giving them an opportunity to earn money, to improve literacy, to make a difference.
Yeah.
You're not offering them something that's not a good, you know, it's a good opportunity. And it's kind of not for you to determine who takes that opportunity or who you offer that opportunity to. So it's interesting, both of you have very similar thoughts, views on kind of where you're offering it to, who you're seeing. And Alex, I know a lot of people come to you, don't they, based on what you've put out there?
Yeah.
So we've had a few questions coming up. One, Catherine, quickly, there are no plans for Usborne to be in Bulgaria. Unfortunately, post-Brexit, shipping channels are not the easiest or most affordable. So we're not looking at expanding into any other countries at the moment, unfortunately, just because of Brexit and shipping channels. Question about where do you recruit? Tried so many groups online and not having much luck. Alex, can you explain first of all, like where you're putting your recruiting messages?
Yeah, so as I said, I do recruit in a group that I own, that I built. So the whole audience is based on my work, because I've been raising that group for 3 years, long before I was doing Usborne. So that's my main recruiting rooster, sort of speak. But I do recruit in my Usborne group too. So whenever I have something to say about Usborne, because I always, every day I have something to say about Usborne, I'm putting a story there more often that I put in the other group, because I don't want to spam. So I have maybe 2 or 3 posts a month in that group, and almost every other day on my group, the little Usborne group, which has 4,000 people, but it's still little compared. So I'm just going through these. I'm not going to random job finds. I'm just basing, because those people know me, because they have trust in me, because we have built a connection over time. I'm just going to them.
And what would your advice be for other people on growing their Usborne group?
Find what you know you can do and use that to build connections with people, because the Usborne group doesn't have to be just about Usborne. It can be about, look, I cooked something last night using one of the Usborne books. Let's share experiences. Let's do a story about something or the other or whatever. So it can be something that, let's say one of us is good at crocheting and we have some do-it-yourself books and we can use that. So whatever we're good at, we can use that to building connection and rapport with the people that are in our groups online. And after we are doing that, after they have trust in us, because it's not like we're phonies or something, it's something we're good at, they're gonna be more prone to join our team, be beside us, and want to do stuff with us. So for me, it was child safety, and now it's literacy, and how these books help babies, like newborns and babies, develop. But for someone else can be about, I don't know, anything else, because we have books about everything.
So find what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, what you have knowledge of, and use that to grow your group. And then you're kind of getting people's trust. And then when you're talking about the opportunity being a good thing, they trust what you're saying and they can see that. Emma, what about you and where you're recruiting?
So I'm similar. I've got a couple of groups that are my group. So I've got like a book club group, and I've got a reading group that are my own groups that people know me in. So they are easier to kind of obviously connect with people. Like Alexandra is saying, they know who I am. But I do post in things like work at home groups, mom groups, what's the other groups, like job groups as well. But I've started to change what I post, especially like the work from home groups. I noticed that there's a lot of copy and paste, the same format for all the different companies, but all of the adverts that people put in are all the same format, and they're all kind of like, do you want a job that blah 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 blah. And I've started, so especially like in mom groups, I've been a bit cheeky to try and get my post approved as well. I've just said like, hi, I just wanted to introduce myself, and kind of talked about me and my experience, and then tagged onto the bottom, if you want to have a chat about how you could do this as well. And actually I've had, like the last few days, I've had so many people like private messaging me and DMing me saying, oh look, like I'd love to chat to you about your experience. And it just seems to have I've had more meaningful conversations from that than I have when I've posted adverts that have been like, earn more money, great training, that kind of thing, where people comment and put info please, and they never reply to you when you do send the info. So that's, I think it's more the content of what I've been posting in the groups that's helped, like I say, especially with things like mom groups, where people kind of want to see your experience as a mom as well. Like, I know everyone in the training now might not be a mom, but for me, like, they want to see how does it fit into my life, and because I'm a mom and I work as well, and so then they kind of, that piques their interest a bit more. So yeah.
And everyone will have different things, won't they? Like Alex
Yeah.
is talking about, obviously hers is related to safety. I know, Emma, a lot of yours is related to being a mum or a teacher. Other people have things where they are neurodiverse and Usborne works much better for them than another job might work, or where people have a chronic condition and actually Usborne works for them better than another job would, or whatever it might be. Everyone has something, don't they, that is their thing, and it's why Usborne works for them, and what your thing is might be different to someone else, and actually that's great, because it's whatever your thing is that matters and makes you most genuine. So I think that was some really good advice there. There was a question, Alex, for you, I think, about do a lot of people buy books in English in Romania?
Yes, actually, they do. Once they understand the fact that for most of the 0 to 3, 4, maybe 5 year category, their child doesn't have to know English to use the books. So I'm using the fact that most of the books can be used without knowing the language, and then I'm promoting the fact that there's a window of opportunity for children between 0 and 3 years. If they learn a second language, they make certain pathways, neural pathways, that help them learn easier later in life another language. So I'm like presenting facts, like scientific facts, that these books are amazing. English is a universal language. We are using it every day for like common things. We have job, we have weekend. Those are written in the Romanian dictionary. So why shouldn't they use English books? And I have had, last year, I haven't done a lot of fairs with like middle schools and everything like that, but I have had a lot of good experience with like teenagers and people, and like 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds who are reading, and they are very excited about having the books. So yeah, apparently people are buying a lot of books in English in Romania.
Emma, you mentioned a bit about consistency, and Alex, you've said similar things about like the importance of keeping going with recruiting. What would you both say to someone who's been trying to recruit for a while and they're just not having any luck or any success, and they're feeling a bit deflated? Like, what's your advice in terms of like how long realistically you think you've got to kind of put in before you start seeing results? And what's your advice on how people can keep going and keep that mindset?
I think, like I said before, like when I first started, 2 people did join but didn't do anything, and that knocked me a bit. But like, I think, I always think, what if the next thing I post or the next thing I do is the thing that suddenly I get really good response to? So like, I've posted, I'll be honest, like I post ads in groups a lot. Sometimes it's usually crickets, I'll be honest. Like, I won't get anything, I won't get comments. And I always go, I haven't had anything on those. I'm just going to do one more. And usually that one of those one mores will get loads of comments on the post, or I'll get a load of DMs. So I just try and tell them and try and help them to think, like, if you give up now, like that next thing you could have done could have been the thing that got you a recruit, or got you 2 recruits, or just got you a response that would give you that like confidence to carry on. I don't know whether that's just I like a challenge, so I'm just like, I don't give up once I've got my teeth into something. I'm like, I'm not stopping now. But that would be my kind of advice, is like, what if that next thing that you're not going to do because you've gone, I give up, what if that was the door to, you know, the start of your team? Or
so for my team, whenever, so I ask them, do you want to recruit? Have you thought about it? This is a conversation we're having like in the first few days usually, because I ask them, do you want to make a business out of this? And if you want, you should start recruiting. You should think about that. And from the moment that I tell them about that, let's say they told me a few days later, okay, I'm gonna start recruiting. We're looking at how they can start recruiting, where they can look, so frogs and everything like that. I asked them to make a list of possible people that they could pitch the idea to. And if it's like a week or two that they didn't got any new recruits or someone interested or something like that, like I always put, if I'm talking to a recruit and they told me, I'm just come back to me at 5th of August, let's say, I'm just put it in my calendar and I'm gonna come back to them then. So if a week or two has passed by and they haven't had people coming in, we're revising. So what have you said? Where have you posted? What happened there? So we're trying to troubleshoot. And oftentimes it's something that they missed or something that they didn't do, like adding a person, checking the spam or something like that. So we're troubleshooting, and I haven't had people that recruited, and like just 2 people from all my downline that have recruited and like bailed out. So just troubleshooting with the mentor, that's basically the most important thing.
It's a question from Jenna, which is, how do you stay consistent? Do you have a written plan in a diary or reminders, etc.?
Even though Laura has given me like 2 beautiful notebooks, I never write anything down and I always forget stuff. And my head is so messy because I have ADHD, but I'm using ADHD as a superpower. And I'm like multitasking, like, do you know that meme with the girl with mathematical things around her head? That's my brain. I never write anything down, but I have the whole year planned out, so I know what budget, how many team leaders, when, everything. It's like in my head. I don't think, I mean, I want to be that organized and write it all down in a beautiful, like with a beautiful pen and everything. Is just a really nice dream, but no, it's in my head. And consistency is like, just I plan to be team leader. I plan to be group leader. I'm planning to be divisional leader. It's like it's a projection in the future. I'm not stopping, and we shouldn't stop when we get somewhere. So if we get team leader, we want to be group leader and so on, or maybe we're comfortable being team leader, and it's like an income for me. It's an income, so I have to earn money to live. So.
And how much time a day would you say you spend recruiting, or how much time a week or a month?
I am currently putting an hour a day in my business. So an hour, that sums up mentoring, recruiting, orders, and everything. And that is like in increments of 5-10 minutes, depending on how my kid is. So she's at home with me. She's not in daycare or something. So it's like, we're going to the park by bus. I'm just talking to someone. I'm making food. I'm talking with Tini. She's asleep. I'm putting an order in. So it's like a rough 1 hour a day, every day, for consistency. And when I have big orders coming in, that goes up to a few hours, but like mainly it's 1 hour a day.
And Emma, what about you? How much of your time would you say is spent on recruiting?
I'd say probably, I mean, it fluctuates how much time I physically do each day in my business, but I'd say at least half of the time each day I spend on my business is recruiting and following up. And it's a big chunk of it, because it's such a vital part of building the team, isn't it? So I make sure I've got a list of things that I have to do. Like I've got a minimum list. So on there is, I have to do follow-ups with people, I have to post in the groups, I have to put something on my stories about getting started with Usborne. So there's like 5 or 6 things on my list of things that I have to do every single day, so that even if I have a day where I want to go out with F and it's just a busy day and I haven't got time to spend loads and loads of time in my business, I make sure I do that list, so that that's kind of become a habit now. So that's, it kind of is consistent because I just do it. It's like brushing my teeth in the morning now. Like I will post those in those groups. And I'll be honest, everything else, I'm a bit rubbish at writing stuff down. I'm a rubbish at planning things out. I am not. I'm similar to you, I think, Alexandra. It's just there's a lot going on, and I think you got to find what works for you. Like I've tried to make myself have spreadsheets. I'm not a spreadsheet person. I never look at them again, and I've accepted the fact that I don't work well with spreadsheets. I don't know whether it's my brain, how it works, but what I have found is that my Kindle, I've got a Kindle Scribe thing, goes everywhere with me. So I've just got like everything is on there, which to some people would be really weird. Like you've got your whole business on your Kindle, that's really weird. But like I've got all my leads on there, and like when I know when someone messages me, like I can jot it down on there. So I've got like when they've messaged, the date they message, like I've replied, because I know I'm going to look at that, and I know I've got that on me all the time because I'm a bit of a reading nerd and I'm constantly reading. So that works for me, whereas having things on my laptop, I forget to look at my laptop and that. So I think it's just like for the consistency, find what works for you to keep you engaged and keep you with that consistency as well. So like I've got my little list and I've got everything else is kind of scribbled in my Kindle.
Does anyone have any final questions? I'm aware we've gone over time, and I know for Alex, Romania is 2 hours ahead of the UK, so it is quite late for her. Does anyone have any final questions for Alex and Emma that they would like answered?
I would like to put something besides what Emma said. So Emma, you said like you have to. I hate to think like that, because if I'm being in a place where I have to do something, it's like, oh, I don't want to do it, and it drives me like off. So maybe some of you are people that don't like to have to do stuff, and that's fine too. You can like totally get your targets, build a team, and do everything, but in your own flow, not needing to have to do anything. You just have the bigger picture there. You're growing your team and you're doing it in your own pace without having to something or the other thing.
Thank you. And I think that's really helpful. I think both of you have pretty much covered any type of person who could possibly be wanting to recruit of your different ways. So I haven't seen any more questions come up. So I'm going to stop recording